Hey everybody, Hollywoodpizza here. We've got a pretty explosive deck for you today. We're going to be playing some Mono White Aggro, that's right, the old classic white weenie. Pretty typical, just all white creatures, all cheap. We actually don't have anything in the deck that costs more than 3 mana, including the sideboard. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. For our 1-drops here, we've got Dauntless Bodyguards, Hopeful Initiates, Recruitment Officers, and Brave the Elements. So the Dauntless Bodyguards essentially can help protect our creatures by giving one of our creatures indestructible as it enters the battlefield. The Hopeful Initiate gets bigger whenever you attack because of training, so as long as you're attacking with a creature with higher power, it's going to keep getting bigger, and you can pay 3 mana later to remove 2 counters from one creature's control to destroy an artifact or an enchantment. We also have Recruitment Officer, which is just another 1-drop. We can pay 4 mana to look at the top 4 cards and get a creature card, mana value 3 or less from among them, so pretty good. Late game type of effect on top of already being an efficient card for 1 mana 2/1. Brave the Elements is the new card from the Explorer Anthology. For 1 white, we get to choose a color, and then white creatures we control gain protection from that color until the end of the turn. So we can either blank a removal spell and keep the beats going, or we can actually just outright end the game with the Brave the Elements if our opponents pretty much are playing like mono-colored or have all creatures of the same color on the other side. So really huge addition. This is the card that definitely pushes this deck into tier 1 status. We also have, in our 2-drop shot, we got 4 Luminarchs, 4 Thalias, and 4 Thalia's Lieutenants. The Luminarch Aspirant helps buff our creatures every combat. It can also buff itself, so kind of just dealing those additional points of damage and getting our creatures to the point where they're going to be bigger than our opponents is really huge in combat. Thalia just helps against anything that's going to be like spell-based, the mid-range or control decks. Essentially kind of taxing and choking our opponent's mana in order for our game plan to kind of just beat them down. We also have the Thalia's Lieutenant, which it gives a +1/+1 counter for each other human, and all the creatures in our decks are a human, including Mutavault, another great addition from Explorer Anthology, which can turn into a 2/2 for just 1 mana. But the Thalia's Lieutenant's great. It gives a +1/+1 counter to all of our humans in play, and then whenever another human enters the battlefield, it gets a counter as well. So it can go off pretty big with this Adeline here, which we're also including 4 of. Whenever it attacks, you get a 1/1 human creature token. Whenever any creature you attack, excuse me. And then its power is equal to number of creature control and it has vigilance, so it's really huge against Wandering Emperor or being able to block with this card as well against decks like Mono Red. Couple Extraction Specialists and 4 Budokathars round out our 3-drops here. The Extraction Specialist can essentially get back Luminarch, Thalia, Lieutenant, any of our 1-drops, just a really powerful card. And on top of that, it's a 3/2 lifelinker. Now, that card can attack or block, but let's say you get back the Luminarch Aspirant or the Thalia's Lieutenant, you're going to get some abilities out of it. And then when this dies, like those creatures can start attacking. For our Budokathar main, for essentially our only source of removal outside of potentially like some blocks or blocks on our opponent's side as well. But Budokathar can just exile a creature until it leaves play, and then it flips over into a 3/3 first striker as well, which that ward could end up coming up if you've been beating your opponent down quite a lot for that 3 life. For special lands, we have 2 Shephet Dunes, a Naganjo, and a Castle Arvindale. Or excuse me, Ardenvale. The Ardenvale is great just because it can continue to pump out 1/1s, and it ends up pumping up the Thalia's Lieutenant as well with a little bit of some synergy. Naganjo is just a nice little additional removal spell in case there's some good blocks somewhere. We also have the 14 Plains, a couple of Shephet Dunes, and we already mentioned the Mutavault, which is an MVP with the Thalia's Lieutenants, and kind of just overall just helping you kind of get to your game plan when your opponent wipes the board and ends up destroying some of your creatures. For a sideboard, we actually have 3 Laydown Arms, which is just an insane removal spell. It does a really good job of trying to be sort of the Plowshares. You're going to get to exile creature mana value less than or equal to number of planes you control. They get to gain 3 life, but you know what? You get to exile a problematic threat. Even though it's a sorcery speed, can't argue with 1 white. 2 Destroy Evils to help blow up things like Shieldred, Lovestruck Beasts. It's also really good against Fable, any type of enchantment strategy, or just problematic enchantments that may be in the format in general. 3 Redains, great against control, good against red deck on the shield side. Essentially, this makes your opponent's non-creature spells that are of mana value 4 greater, cost 2 more, so you can start taxing them quite a bit. Flying Vigilance as well. 3 Rest in Peace for Greasefang, any type of graveyard strategy. And 4 Wedding Announcements for the control or mid-range matchups to essentially get some more value and then buff up your whole team to come in for quite a lot of damage against your opponent. So we're going to go ahead and jump in some games and crush some opponents. I think this hand's a little bit weak. This is a little bit better. Let's stick with the 2-drops. Obviously, mulliganing isn't the best thing, but that's okay. Alright, so we hit a Hopeful Initiate. At least that's something that we can actually cast. We're going to come in for 2. And yeah. Alright, so we just have a Brave the Elements. Smashing our opponent down, and we can give ourselves protection from something here. Alright, we hit our second land. I think we want the Luminarch Aspirant. We can grow... I think the Hopeful Initiate, and we can attack with it. Next turn, we can maybe Thalia's plus pump up the Recruitment Officer to keep the beats going and be able to pump up the Hopeful. But it also looks like they have Collect the Company here. I think I like the Dauntless. I mean, I'm coming in for 4. Most of the things they're going to do or block with. They don't have a good double block anyways, so... Wow, they just hit 2 Giadas, so they get a 3. Oh, wow, it doesn't trigger. They still have the Coco glitch. So they're probably just going to take this, or they chump block with the Skyclave, which is fine. Alright, so they take it. They're at 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. So Brave the Elements. So long as they don't gain any life, or if we draw land, we can Thalia's Lieutenant plus Brave the Elements for the win. Luminarch gives us that extra +1/+1 counter as well for some more damage. So let's see what happens. Hey, thank you so much for the gift sub. Really, really appreciate that. Max, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we just take it. We know almost all their creatures are going to be white. Okay. So they play Valkyrie after, which is kind of interesting. It might have saved them if they did it the other way. We'll just name white. Go to combat. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yep. And we just barely get there. Like, it's going to be really hard to beat this deck. I think we just hope to have a really fast start. I mean, we won on 1 land there. Could also bring in a lot more of our removal. Dahlia seems like okay here. Maybe we bring in the Laydown Arms. Mana value, yeah. Destroy Evil does kill their creatures. Yeah, I think we want that second Destroy Evil. Oh yeah, that Brave was pretty sweet. Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually think we can keep this hand. We have somewhat of a curve too. We have the Dauntless Bodyguard into a Thalia's Lieutenant. Like, that's fine. I actually like this a lot more now, because then we can use the Dauntless Bodyguard later. They play Bishop. The question is, do we want to lay down the arms on it? Ooh, we draw a Brutal Cathar anyways. I mean, like, we're hoping that we hit our 3rd land, because if we do, we have double Brutal Cathar, so... And that's going to get us a long way. We're going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage to our opponent. Ooh, they have Skyclave Apparition, though, for the Recruitment Officer here. That's fine. Destroy Evil, definitely not what we want to see. I think we have to Thalia's Lieutenant. It's not great value, but it's definitely something. We attack. They want to trade, that's fine. We get a creature out of it. Ooh, they're just gonna get the Thalias in it. So yeah, really looking for a land here. We hit it. But unfortunately, if we get rid of the Skyclave and then they get rid of the Brutal, they're gonna get their Skyclave back. So this isn't the greatest play, but right now I think it's okay, and we still have 2 removal spells for their creatures. Okay, Inspiring Overseer. And we just hit another Brutal Cathar. I think we just keep playing them. Come in for 5. It's going to be 7 next turn. They're almost dead. And we have the Brave the Elements. Alright, so they do have the Righteous Valkyrie. Yeah, I think we just Brutal Cathar here. We're just going to attack now and hold up this Brave the Elements in case they do something crazy. We don't have lethal, though, unfortunately. Unless they only have, like, 1 blocker. But it looks like they do have a follow-up play. They're going to get a 4/4. Which, we can kill that with the Destroy Evil. 7. So we just blow this up. We activate our Mutavault and come in for lethal. Because they can only block 1 2/2 and they take 4 2/2s, so 8 damage. Plus the 1/1. So pretty tough matchup, but we were actually able to get there with a pretty strong hand both games with the Brave the Elements and the Brutal Cathars. We'll go ahead and see you next match. Jumping into another game here, gonna be on the play. And that's actually pretty keepable. We have some lands we can actually cast our spells with, so that feels pretty good. I think we want to cast this Thalia on turn 2. Maybe Mutavault first, so then the Mutavault could attack on the following turn. Thalia could potentially choke our opponent of their mana here. Looks like we're up against the Greasefang control deck. Okay, they're going to put that in the Foretell zone. I think we still Mutavault here. Let's go ahead and get this Luminarch Aspirant down. Let's target the Thalia, sure. Come in for some damage. And pass turn back. We have double Mutavault next turn. Attacking, and then maybe the Shephet Dunes after that. Like, we're completely fine with that. Alright, so we just hit another Thalia. I think we Thalia and activate one of the Mutavaults. We're actually going to put a counter on the Mutavault lands, so that way our Mutavault gets better in the future. If they board wipe, we can just kill them with both of our Mutavaults. So, pretty quick game 1. I think Thalia definitely helped us out there, considering that they were more of like a control style deck. And I think that we do want the Redains because they probably are playing some non-creature spells that cost 4 more mana, I would imagine. The Wedding Announcements are also really good as well because they're going to provide us a lot of value. We didn't really see that many creatures, so I think that we could actually get rid of the Brutal Cathars. Let's bring in the Redains, a couple of Wedding Announcements. And I think we can cut a Hopeful Initiate here. I'm not sure if we wanted to cut all of our removal, but knowing that we didn't really get to see that many creatures on our opponent's side feels pretty good. If they are playing Greasefang, then we may want to go back and rethink our strategy. Specifically playing like the Destroy Evils. And the Rest in Peace would be really good, but we didn't really get to see them do anything. They had a Vanishing Verse. I don't really think they play Vanishing Verse in that deck. I could be wrong. I know the Esper version is a little bit more controlling, so we'll see. And this hand's really good. We have a Curve, the Wedding Announcement to keep pressure going, the Thalia on turn 2. Our opponent is taking a mulligan here. I think we do want to start off with the Plains into the Recruitment Officer. because that's going to give us the best beatdown options. They can follow it up with the Thalia, turn 2 Mutavault again. We'll see if they have a removal spell for the Recruitment Officer. If they do, we're probably fine with that. Okay, Fatal Push here. And we can just Thalia now. And it does hurt a little bit, I guess, because we're not able to cast a Wedding Announcement next turn, but we have 2 Hopeful Initiates. Alright, and they just have a way to kill the Thalia anyways. But no counterspell for this Wedding Announcement, we would hope. Alright, we get a 1/1. So definitely starting to accrue some value here with some creatures in play. Brave the Elements is fine. I get a feeling that we're up against a Wandering Emperor here. So Mutavault doesn't really do anything against Wandering Emperor, but we can still attack for 1. If they're Wandering, we can just protect here. Yep. Or they just make a 2/2. Sure. Go to blocks. Or just a Ganjo. Get a 1/1. Looks like we're up against potentially just outright Esper control here. Okay, we hit a Plains, which is nice. They could have another Wandering Emperor, which is a bit annoying. We could get a redraw off of the Wedding Announcement. I think I'd rather just get another creature, and then we have some decent-sized threats to start attacking with. We can also block their Samurai token pretty efficiently now. And, okay, they're just going to bounce that. I mean, there's only white creatures. Like, we're kind of okay with that. If they're just trying to counter on the way back down, then that's perfectly fine. I get a feeling that they just have board wipe here, though. Okay, they're going to play another Samurai off the Wandering Emperor, which means that they probably have another Wandering Emperor here. Now, we could double block. I think I'd rather just take the 2 if that's really the route they're going to go. Alright, so Dauntless Bodyguard is actually not bad. Let's see if they have the counterspell on the way back down for this. And they just have Dissipate. That's fine. We might have wanted to tap better here, obviously. Protect the Hopeful Initiate. But even if they use this on the Mutavault, we can't protect it anyways because it's a colorless source. Well, we hit a Thalia. That's fine. It does potentially give our opponent a little bit of a headache by having to tap more mana for their spells. It's a little bit rough, I guess, for our Brave the Elements, but that's fine. We're going to pump up both of these Hopeful Initiates and hope that they don't really have much. Maybe they still have a Wandering Emperor. Okay. So whatever they target, we're just going to Brave anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's fine. So they can try to kill a Hopeful. We can give our creatures protection. And then smash in. Yeah, I actually think I'm okay playing this. Are they just going to blow up the Mutavault on upkeep? That's fine if they do. Okay, they're going to scry. So, I mean, that takes up their whole turn. They're at 14. What are we really looking to hit here? We don't have any other removal. Thalia's Lieutenant. Extraction Specialist. Doesn't really get anything back. It's not a bad draw, though. I think Redain's a little bit too late. Okay, they just get another creature. That's fine. Yeah, we just take the 3. Alright, so we hit Recruitment Officer. That's fine. We don't really have a good attack. I guess they can just block the Thalia. We can play this. We're gonna get another 2/2. That's fine. Let's just pass. We're really hoping to hit a Thalia's Lieutenant. Maybe dodge the Wrath here. We get to protect one of our cards if they do have a Wrath. Plus we have Mutavault backup. And we would get a redraw anyways because of the recruitment officers. So a board wipe wouldn't be the most terrible thing. A farewell would be more annoying, obviously, because... I mean, they paid life there. They have, like, what, a Shark Typhoon? Maybe? Alright, unfortunately, we just hit another recruitment officer. Yep. Luminarch Aspirant is fine. Let's get some more creatures on the battlefield. Let's give the first striker +1. Pass turn back. Excuse me, got my water there. We're gonna Castle Vantress. One on top, one on the bottom, so probably a board wipe here, I would imagine. I would think it's board wipe. Okay, just redraw, I guess. That's fine. They're at 12. If we hit a land, we can dig for the Lieutenant and still play it in the same turn. They have 5 blockers, but we might be able to push enough damage through. Alright, so we hit an Adeline. I mean, I think we just Adeline and probably swing out with the gang here. I mean, there's no reason not to, I don't think. A little bit scary activating the Mutavault here. Yep, put a counter on the token. Attack our opponent, we get another 1/1. Both of these get bigger. Let's just attack our opponent here, make them block with more creatures. So they block there. Probably just make some trades everywhere. I mean, this is lethal. They just die. They have to block our big cards. They have to block a 3 power creature somewhere or they lose the game, I'm pretty sure. Alright, go to damage. Do they just have a removal spell here? That's strong. Wow, did we hit them for exact? That was amazing. Still got their chat. Math is for blockers. Oh my goodness. Let's go. We'll see you next match.
This video is brought to you by MagicJank.com, the spiciest cards for your sauciest decks. Buy and sell Magic the Gathering products and gear today on MagicJank.com.
Looking for the latest comic book to add to your collection? How about the last card for that Magic the Gathering Commander deck? Well, the comic book stores got you covered. Shop online at comicbookstore.tcgplayerpro.com or come in person at 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey. Pizza people, are you enjoying the content? Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Hit that bell icon as well. That way, anytime any of our new content comes out, you're able to see it right away. Hey, leave a comment down below as well. Tell us what you're going to play in the next event, or tell us what you're enjoying about the video. Don't forget, check out the description too. We've got tons of great content down below, and on top of that, we're going to have our tournament schedule too. So get in on it. Hope to see you. I think that we keep this. This is really good. Alright, so we're up against mono green though, and this is going to be a really tough matchup, honestly. Like, we have a really good draw with our Luminarch into Adeline, so we might be able to pressure them. Oh wow, they're just going to put Gigant in their hand? That's actually really good for us. So our draw actually feels a lot better now. Like, we're going to have Adeline down next turn. That feels pretty good. This will maybe be a 4-3, depending on what our opponent does here. Oh wow, so they're going to take... Okay, the Luminarch. Sure. It's a little bit awkward. We do have Adeline though. If they want to block the 1/1, that's fine. Okay. And the best thing about Adeline is it has Vigilance, so the Acrone War isn't gonna make it kill itself next turn. And we still have Extraction Specialist to get back the Luminarch, plus the Hopeful Initiate. Okay, so I think we still do this. We're gonna go ahead and cast Extraction Specialist. Let's get this Luminarch Aspirant back. We'll play a Hopeful Initiate. We'll pump up the Adeline for now. Wow, we have to attack. That's fine. Still get another human. I mean, they kind of have to trade with the Adeline here. Then they take some damage, and we have a follow-up Thalia's Lieutenant. Alright, so we lost some creatures, but we're still not really that bad, honestly. Okay, they have Fable for a block. Stormseeker's pretty good here. They might attack. I doubt it, though. I don't really see them being aggressive. If they do, I mean, I'm pretty fine with that. Yeah, they're just going to attack with that. That's fine. No blocks. That's a pretty good draw, too. Alright, so we play this first. We're going to pump up the Luminarch. Yeah, the Luminarch. Alright. We could have pumped up the Initiate, I think, with the Luminarch, and then just came in for a lot of damage. So we're up against Scroll Boat. The Boat deck. They don't have Snowlands. I think we want most of our removal here. We can... Well, I think we actually want the Initiates in this matchup because they can blow things up. So maybe cut a Recruitment Officer. Thalia's fine, but not the craziest thing. Maybe we can shave on some of these. Maybe we only want one Destroy Evil, and... Nah, I still think Thalia's pretty good. Like, Recruitment Officer is fine. It's just like another creature, right? Which, yeah, we want to hit our curve on time, but... I also think it's going to be one of our more, like, worst creatures, really. Gotta take a mulligan. I think we keep this. This is a really good hand. I don't mind putting the Brave the Elements back. Obviously, we want to hit our third land, but once we do, we have double Brucathar and the Adeline. So, Luminarch into 3-drops pretty good. Obviously, like I said, we cut some 1-drops, so... Maybe not having the ideal curve that we want, but that's okay. We still have some removal for some of their cards. If they hit Boat, it's going to be really bad. which is why we do want the Destroy Evil. Okay, they hit Fable. So yeah, we're a little bit behind, I think, this one. They already have their Fable going. We can Brutal Cathar the token, but it's going to be next turn. We're potentially a little bit better off playing the Adeline and being more aggressive and then using the Brutal Cathar on like a better creature that they play later. Adeline does survive Boat. Ooh, they just have a Chrome War. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, yep, they're gonna hit us for 3. Controls. I actually think we take our own Luminarch here. Nah, let's take the token permanently. We can just block if we need to. I don't know. I think maybe this is better. Looks like they have a Rending Volley here. Okay. Sure. So we're going to take a lot of damage now from our opponent. So they had the answer at the right time, the tempo play. We're going to take a lot of damage now. Just a little bit too behind this game. We could also Brutal Cathar the Reflection. Like, that's okay. We're going to get this back on the following turn, which is nice. But by then, we might be dead. That Reckless Stormseeker is definitely going to put on a clinic here. They actually could have given their Reflection... Yeah, I was about to say, give the Reflection haste, copy the Luminarch. But they couldn't do it because of this. They also can't really get... They can get another Stormseeker or something, I guess. Like, that's fine. Alright, so we take 9, go down to 6, or 8, excuse me. Or no, yeah, it is 9. So, yep, down to 8. And they have Reflection, a 4/4 here. Is there a way out of this? Okay, they're just gonna stomp. That's fine. That's okay. We can... feel like we gotta get rid of the token. It's the biggest creature on the battlefield. Bone Crusher. I think we're just dead here, 2 behind. Again, Bone Crusher copy, give it like the actual Bone Crusher haste as well. Kind of fell a little bit too behind there. The Destroy Evil might have helped because they have Fable, but I don't know about that. I think we just try this out again one more time and see if we can get a good start. Maybe kind of brave the elements for the win, like we did some of our other matches here. Okay, yeah, it's a pretty good hand. We got some 1-drops. We're definitely going to be able to curve out. Recruitment Officer first into Hopeful Initiate and Dauntless Bodyguard. Seems pretty good. The Dauntless can protect the Hopeful Initiate. Just because the Hopeful Initiate can keep growing if we hit some of our other cards. So, really hoping to snowball this game. If they have a Llanowar off, it's going to be really good for them. Oh, it looks like they do. Or they just have the kill spell for the Officer here. Alright, they actually went with something completely different. We could Thalia. I actually like Thalia. We don't get a good attack in, but if they had a Stomp, they can't play it right now. Lovestruck Beast is going to get in the way, though. That is going to be a huge problem here. Alright, so they just end up having the Renda Volley anyways. We still don't have a good attack. And we hit a Thalia's Lieutenant, which is actually phenomenal here. I think we would rather Lieutenant. And then we can go ahead and Dauntless on the Lieutenant. We're going to come in for 3. Get our opponent down to 15 here, probably. I don't really see a block. If they do, we're fine with it either way. We're hoping to draw some creatures to make this Lieutenant like a lot bigger to match up with Lovestruck Beast or maybe some other ones in the future. Or we could just try to go for like one big hit with the Brave. Alright, let's see what our opponent has here. They could still have a Stomp. But I'm pretty sure they're just going to Lovestruck. I mean, it's the best blocker they have. And we do have the Dauntless Bodyguard to protect the Lieutenant, which is pretty nice. And then next turn we can start holding up the Brave the Elements. Looks like our opponent's heavy going in the tank here this turn on what decision they're going to make here. Alright, they're just going to make a 1-1. That's fine. I mean, we just sacrifice it. They actually don't get the 4-3, which is nice. And we just hit another one anyways. So yeah, let's protect the Lieutenant. Play a Hopeful Initiate. If they attack, they double block. It feels kind of bad. We're just going to attack for 4. It's a little bit awkward, but... Wow, they actually end up taking it. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they tap out... Okay, unfortunately these creatures are white. So we don't win unless we draw another Brave the Elements here. What's up, Maverick? How's it going? Good to see you. We have the Brave the Elements now to protect ourselves too from any burn spell. Okay, Elvish Mystic, that's fine. They have a lot of cards left here. So they just have an Obliterating Bolt. That's fine. We'll sacrifice it, protect our card. Okay, so we just hit another Lieutenant. That's really good. The question is that enough? 6, 10, 12? Ooh, so they can still block. Yeah, we attack. So we're getting a lot closer here to being able to finish the game off with this Brave the Elements. Alright, we really want them to block with the other 1-1 here, because then the Brave is guaranteed to be lethal. If not, I think we still have it, because we can give our creatures pro-green. Puts them in like a really awkward spot. And we're able to take the match down. Mono White. Pretty strong showing. We'll see you in the post-game wrap. And we're back for the post-game wrap. As you can see, this deck was really powerful. Sometimes your decisions are going to be pretty close, but overall I actually think this is one of the best decks to get to Mythic with. I know that on the stream I play a lot of mono green, and that's usually what I hit Mythic with, but I actually think that with the inclusion of Brave the Elements, the Mono White deck might end up being the best deck in the format. I like it a lot in the small amount of time that I've played it here, and I think that you're going to like it a lot too, especially if you want to play this deck in any of our tournaments, which are free to play. You can find links for that, my stream as well, in the description below, including the deck list, and I hope that you stay cheesy.